Hey everybody, on this episode of Box Office Breakdown, we're going to talk about how Finding Dory found its way around the rock to claim the title of Box Office Champion. Let's do this.
Welcome to Popcorn Talk, featuring movie discussion, news, and interviews. Popcorn Talk, we talk movies. And now, here's Popcorn Talk's Box Office Breakdown.
Hey everybody, welcome to Box Office Breakdown here on Popcorn Talk. Once again, we are assembled a full panel here where we're going to break down the weekly box office and provide insight for future weekends to come. We're going to be your box office soothsayers.
I like that.
Yeah.
Look at that.
Sounds good.
Yes, all right.
Very medieval.
Yes.
I'm your host, Frank Brand. You can follow me at HappyGoJackie.
Hi there, my name is Quinn Scillian. You guys can find me on Twitter at Quinn Scillian.
Hey, how's it going? My name's Kari Lane. You can find me online at Kari D Lane. That's Karidlane.
And it's DJ Richie Skye. You can find me online at DJ Richie Skye.
Look at that. Quite a week. I think, as we all talked about, we had no doubt that Finding Dory was going to take number one. We all agreed on that. And it was all just a question of how well Central or Critical Intelligence.
Yes.
I knew that was going to come back to me this week.
Well, I was going to say, I know I said Central Intelligence last week, but it's one of those, I'm like, I know Finding Dory is going to be number one, but I'm like, let's just say it to be...
Contrary. Why not?
Yes, let's just say it to be contrary to the group.
No, Carrie. Finding Dory, shut it down.
But I was right with all my other ones of order. Besides those two, just if I switched Dory and Central Intelligence, I had everything else was the same order.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, and so certainly Finding Dory, as we were talking about just before the show, we are kind of crunching the numbers there. When Finding Nemo came out in 2003, it did about $70 million in the box office. So this did almost double of what it did for Finding Dory, $136 million there.
Okay, were any of you guys expecting that much?
Well, you got to think like 13 years for this, and you imagine how many people have been watching it on DVD, sharing it with their kids. They're all growing up watching this movie constantly. I mean, I'm sure it built like a huge fan base that were waiting for a sequel to come out.
Yeah.
Absolutely, because the first one, nobody knows what it is. They're kind of like, okay, cool, let's check this out. Sequel, they all love the first one. So it's like, of course you're going to go, and either it's the people who already originally saw it, and then they're taking their kids, or they're going back because it's their nostalgia, or it's all the new people that are like, oh my gosh, I saw Finding Nemo, and now there's another one.
Yeah.
I also feel like we kind of were in a little bit of like a kid movie drought, like a really, really quality one, you know? Like
Since Zootopia.
Yeah, since Zootopia. So I think everybody was just like, oh, finally we can take the kids to the theater, you know?
And it's kind of the beginning of summer.
It's
Kids are out of school.
Exactly. Yeah. Everyone pretty much just got out, so no surprises.
And it's not like a little kid movie. It's a family movie, so the
Yeah.
entire family can enjoy it.
I think people needed
Yeah,
a reason
not like
to
Hotel
laugh.
Transylvania 2.
People needed a reason to laugh this weekend too. So
It was a-
I think that could have been a little bit of a factor as well.
Did any of you open your pocketbooks to help contribute to this box office?
I did not. I have this thing where sometimes I won't go see it the opening weekend because I know it's gonna be flooded. You know what I mean? So I have to kind of go when it dies down a little bit.
I did see a movie just today. None of the movies that are on the top 5, but I'm gonna plug this movie because it was crazy. It's called Tickled, and it's a documentary. Just go type in and watch the trailer, okay? That's all I'm asking you to do because this thing was absolutely nuts. It's probably gonna be on HBO soon because it's an HBO documentary, but I don't want to like spoil anything, but I was freaking out. It was like Catfish level, going clear level crazy. So go see this documentary or whatever. I don't know.
She was obviously moved.
And it's not even a top 5, but I'm just saying. I just wanted to plug it because it was that good.
I was interested in a lot of them, but I participated in Scavenger Hunt this weekend, so...
Way better. Better.
We got second place.
Nice. Well,
Look
thanks
at
for
that.
the invite, Carrie. That's cool. That's great.
I know, I'll invite you guys next time.
No, I actually did see it, and it was fun. Although the ending gets a little bit, I mean, certainly we're talking about talking fish, but even the ending parts of it got a little strained credibility.
Okay.
So, but
Really?
yeah, but it's still an enjoyable movie, though.
Better than
you
the
think-
first? I just want to know.
Yeah, I have to be honest. It's been so long since I've seen the first that it's. I mean, I just remember like, oh, I like the first one. So, but this was good. I felt like that probably because of my problems with the ending of it, I probably would go Finding Nemo slightly above Finding Dory.
Oh.
Did you love the first
That's
one?
a
Because, I mean, I'll go
bold
out on a limb
statement
that
there.
the first one, I liked it, but I'm not with the crowd that's like, I love Finding Nemo. It's the best movie. I'm like,
Yeah.
it's cool.
I think that
liked
I had
it.
heard so much hype about it that I was expecting to be blown away, but I was just kind of like, oh yeah, this is a cute movie. I
that
get it.
is like definitely some people's favorite Pixar movie.
Oh, yeah, no,
Like,
I know.
I think My brother is like a 27-year-old man, and he still weeps every time we watch it. So I don't know. There's some kind
nothing
of.
wrong with the sensitive.
Are you in
man.
the Finding Nemo one of the best Pixar's ever?
I mean, I love Finding Nemo. I don't know
so
if it beats out like some of, I think maybe
Sure.
Monsters Inc. I'm always been really, really obsessed with. So there's like a couple that like, Toy Story that still kind of ring with me. Do you guys think that Ellen DeGeneres had a big, people just wanted to go see?
I was just about to ask that.
Do you guys think that she is a big pull to the box office?
I think her interpretation of the character does.
Yeah.
I think she just has an energy that's just A, kid-friendly, and B, funny.
Yes.
Because in 2003, she was just starting to be Ellen. Wasn't she? I mean, when did her talk show start? 2004?
Well, at least by now it's well known enough that everybody, if you said Ellen, almost most
Everybody
people would
knows.
be like, oh yeah, sure.
Everybody knows
Ellen
Ellen.
show.
That's what I'm saying. Like, she has such a passionate fan base. I
Yeah.
bet there are like, ladies without even kids who are just like, we got to go support Ellen. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So.
yeah. Even from her sitcom days, like I used to watch that sitcom. Like,
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Loved it.
Here
So,
and Now is maybe one of my favorite stand-ups I have ever seen.
hilarious.
I have never laughed so hard at a stand-up. It holds up.
So
it's fantastic.
I do think that she could be contributing to that.
Yeah,
You know what I
probably.
mean?
Oh yeah.
Well, it's interesting when you look at Pixar that is such a brand. Unless they're if they're doing a sequel of another film. I mean, I feel like any of the posters or any of the artart they're doing or any of the campaigns, it's very simple to get people to entice. You're just going to go just for
It's
the
a
brand
new
alone.
Pixar movie.
How do you guys
Yeah.
think that they get it right and everybody, I mean, not that everybody else doesn't, but they get it right?
Because like DreamWorks, we get things like Shrek, or we get things like the Bee's story, Bee's tale, or whatever that. It's like it's really hit and miss with DreamWorks. Whereas like Pixar just like consistently, even their little short films, just like
Character. I'd say character,
John Lasseter.
number one, and then story.
Yeah.
Because they're characters you care about their development. The characters actually have development. They go on a journey. You're able to go with them, literally or figuratively. And then the stories are generally interesting, at least in some way, shape, or form, or they're easy enough to follow for like families.
No, and it's true, at least from what I've understood how the process is. Certainly, they do have the directors and the writers kind of steering the focus of it, but then they do have John Lasseter kind of overseeing it,
Yeah.
a few other people there from Pixar. So very much, you have a quality control right
Yes.
there. And it seems to be an environment where ideas and collaboration are really encouraged, as opposed to like, no, this is my idea and I'm just sticking with it and everybody back off.
And they take their time too. We don't see we see maybe a Pixar movie a year pretty much, or
Yeah, or it's almost like, I guess, I think they're almost to the point where they're doing 2 a year.
they're doing 2 a year.
Because last year they did Inside Out and then The Good Dinosaur.
See, that does seem like a really fast
But Good-
turnover. That's even more impressive then.
But do you think Good Dinosaur did not do as well as Inside Out, though?
Admittedly, it's probably one of my least favorite Pixar
Yeah,
films.
I agree.
So
Yeah.
there you go.
But
They
Inside
have-
Out was insanely good. I mean, gosh.
So then they have a 50-50.
Yeah. But still, I mean, like they're
Yes. They have a developed,
batting
like you were
average is
saying, they
pretty
have a
good.
good developed brand. They have a type of movie they make, and so
Yeah.
it has a reputation that people are going to go see that kind of a film.
Now, as we're speaking about people who have brands, a nice action movie coming in at number 2, The Rock. If we're talking about action, The Rock right there, that is in his wheelhouse. Central Intelligence came in at number 2, 34.5 million. And I know I went low with 28, so I went low with 28. Richie, did you have the winner for that?
What did
I
you guess?
did. I think it was like 31.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I was close.
You were the highest one.
Yeah.
I remember I split the difference. I was like 28 or something.
Yeah, I think I was 20.
I
I
was
don't
close.
remember.
There you go.
Well, I mean,
Good
that's
job.
actually impressive because
that's
we didn't
not bad,
have
yeah.
we didn't have anything any of the other movies hit above 40.
Yeah.
So I think like we just had a lot of money funneling into Finding Dory this weekend.
Yeah.
No,
I think we knew that, but I just didn't
Well, there
know
you
how
go.
much.
Majority of people went to Finding Dory, and then like the next chunk of people were Central Intelligence,
Yeah.
and then the people who hadn't seen the other ones are like, okay, we'll go to those.
Yeah.
And it's so interesting because you think more traditionally, if you think about box office releases, the big action movies are usually the ones that the animated films are the things, the kid-friendly films are more the
Yep.
counter programming for that.
Yes.
Oh, we need
Yeah.
to have something for kids. And they usually come in number 2 or 3. And this Pixar is its own thing. So
Yeah.
if you got a Pixar film, you find your film coming in number 2 most likely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And all things considered, with a family movie, you're getting at least 2 people because you have a parent and a child, and then up to the family 4 unit and plus. Action movie, it's maybe you and a friend, maybe a group, but family
Yeah.
movies, you can
Maybe a date.
you got your core, like the 2.5 kids and parents, and plus if they have lots of kids or something like that.
Speaking of that, isn't it weird if you think about the fact that a child's ticket is less money than an adult ticket?
But if you brought 5 kids, or
No,
if you're
I know. I'm just saying.
babysitting,
I'm just talking about $136 million, and that's considering that a
On a
big chunk of those
discounted
people
ticket, yeah.
they discounted tickets.
Yeah.
Yeah, that
Depends how many chaperones went.
That's a lot of money, baby.
How many parents
going
were
straight to John
going?
Lasseter's pocket? Thank you, and I'll take the Oscar as well.
Now, as we're talking about like branding and stuff, you think of all the posters, and we talked a little bit about this last week. For everything for Central Intelligence, you just see The Rock, just standing there massive, playing up against the size between The Rock and Kevin Hart being so small. And I feel like every Kevin Hart film, we're almost seeing him play like he's like the small kind of guy that's in over his head and is always kind of like cowardly and afraid. If you think of like Ride Along 2, things like that.
he said 10 years ago, "This is my look, and I'm sticking to it." You got to appreciate the consistency on there.
He figured out his branding.
Yeah, he
and
really
stuck with
did.
it.
I don't
And
know.
it's still working.
It's still working, but I kind of
Crazy.
feel like I want him to do something else. Like I need to see what the next slate of movies for him is gonna be. I can't keep seeing this same movie.
But the question is, if he does something new, are people going to be like, well, I like your other stuff? Like, if an actor does something for so long and then they change it up and then people are like, well, I like you doing this. Like, if he did a serious movie, you'd be like, but you always do comedy.
I know, but if you think about it, Owen Wilson and Vince Vaughn did the same movie over and over and over again with the same dynamic, and people still, rush to go see that stuff.
Yeah,
so.
but where are they now? Are they still are we still seeing them do that movie this year?
No, that's true, but they had a pretty long
Good run.
hot streak, yeah.
I don't know.
Ride that wave while
the
you
question
can,
is
yeah.
the question is he trying to be an actor or is he trying to be just a comedian?
I don't know. I mean,
Any opinion on that, Frank?
Yeah. If you think about somebody like Johnny Depp, I mean, people want to see him, at least box office wise, you want to see him more in films like the Pirates films, something that was playing a character. And if he tries to do some more like the arty kind of films, people are like, the box
They
office
don't
is
wanna
never
see it.
really there.
Yeah.
Like, no, just be Captain Jack for us. That's
Yeah.
all we want. That's all we want to see. Don't do anything else. Just keep making Pirates films.
Yeah.
Maybe he'll be doing, Central Intelligence 3 in a couple of years. Who knows?
Coming in at number 3, we have The Conjuring 2, staying pretty strong there at the 15.5 million.
Third week?
Just down a little, about 61.5%.
Okay.
Oh wait, second week.
Second week.
Since I'm on this whole cake, do you guys think that there will be a Conjuring 3
I think
Sure.
so.
next year?
Now, the question is if it's going to theater, if it's going to go straight to DVD or like straight to Netflix. I
Like
think
the
they
butterfly
could.
effect. Sure. They kept making butterfly effects, and nobody wanted any more of those. So
Yeah,
I don't know.
Horror movies, if they got one that works, they will keep
Exactly.
making them.
That's why I was
They
asking.
will.
Like they will keep going
If you
with
scroll through any online movie provider, it's like horror movie number 4, 5, 6. Like it just keeps
it.
going.
Paranormal Activity number 18.
Is that why
Yeah.
they made so many scary movies? Are they like lampooning the fact that there's so many
mean,
scary
Sure.
movies?
Yes.
Well, and you look at these. I mean, certainly the budget for these are pretty low. So, so if you look at the budget to box office return, I mean, it makes sense to keep doing the films, and they're
Yeah,
being pretty well
especially
received.
stuff like
Yeah.
the found footage, paranormal activity, that
And
kind of
it's
stuff.
crazy that we
And
are
you just
still
churn those
on
out.
that. We are still addicted to that.
And
That's
also
so crazy.
they don't have any star power because with movies like this, they don't want a recognizable face. It's
Exactly.
scarier if it looks like it could just be any random person off the
could be
street.
you or me.
And so they're paying their actors probably nothing to do it. There's like
Mixed though. Like Insidious had a couple, their main actors were recognizable.
I'm talking more about
characters.
the found footage kind
Oh,
of
the found
movies.
footage
Yeah,
ones. Yeah, those then, yeah.
Now,
Because then
that's
that
not
is
to
your
say that I
everyone.
don't enjoy them because I'm gonna go see it. But I'm just saying that I just feel like we're gonna see another one and another one
Oh,
and
sure.
another one. You know
It'll
what I
be
mean?
a little while.
I feel like, it seems like it's being so well critically received that I feel like
It is.
Yeah.
That's the thing too. Like even audiences are liking it. So
Coming in at number 4, I know we had a little bit of a debate thinking what was going to hold strong, Warcraft or Now You See Me 2. Now You See Me 2 came in at number 4, yeah.
They're doing good. They're
just-
still holding that spot.
Yeah,
They're like,
just
I'm still here.
That's right. You're still
Hanging
seeing
on.
me. You're still
Not for
seeing
long.
me. Just a hair under $10 million, just down 56.9% in its second week.
That one could probably still be on there from word of mouth, people who saw it. And like, so was it good? Like, oh yeah, I want to see either the people who saw the first one or word of mouth. Mm-hmm. Or you finally saw the billboard, saw the actor, go, oh wait, they're in a new one.
Compared to Warcraft, which we thought there was debate. I mean, because certainly internationally, doing gangbusters over there.
Mm-hmm.
Domestically, though, that does seem like the word of mouth was not being as well received domestically because it was down 73% from last week. So it just made a little $6.5 million. It feels like it's definitely on a steep drop.
I think, it looks like it's doing better overseas, but in the States, there's still a lot of people who are enjoying it and going to see it.
Yeah, but
I want to see it.
I mean, certainly they're
I
setting
feel
it
like I need to see it.
I really can't stress
you
how
know,
uninterested I am in this movie.
It's not the people rushing first weekend. There's going to be a lot of people
Yeah,
I
like-
want to see it, but they're going to see it maybe like third, fourth, or
Yeah,
something.
you know, we keep talking
Like
about
lyric.
it. We really keep coming back to it. I feel as though I need to see this movie. Like I'm compelled now. We talked
wanna
about
see
it
it.
so
I just
much.
haven't gotten
We
to it
have to
yet.
agree to disagree on that one, Richie.
I mean, certainly from what people said, they're setting it up to do a trilogy of films, which is fine. So, but they kind of, they just kind of tease you with a lot of possibilities. They're like, oh, we'll talk about this in film 2 or film 3. And I think that's, you can try that strategy, but you can't guarantee that you're going to get those films. Because you look at like the Terminator film, Terminator Genesis, was supposed to be the kickoff of a new trilogy. Didn't do that well, and so now they scrapped the other two
And they're
films.
now just doing another series of Unfortunate Events movie, which, like, when that first came out, we thought we were going to see, like, I mean, there are so many series of Unfortunate Events books. I thought we were going to be seeing those for years after that, but they're just now doing another one. I don't even know when that's coming out.
Lots of serious ones. That they do the one, you get so excited. You're like, there's going to be another one.
No,
and there's not.
Yeah, but I feel like so many studios now, especially when you look at Marvel, and it's more the age of the franchise, where people are trying to set up, multiple films in a series.
It makes sense. I mean, because it's a moneymaker. You know what I'm
true.
saying?
But
Like, it could be a moneymaker for the long haul.
Yeah.
You know?
But I feel like you got to set that first film as just like its own standalone
And that's
movie.
what I'm saying. It has to be good enough on its own, because I think it's, especially because we have so many of these kinds of movies coming out now. It's like, I think audiences are going to get tired of it. I think they are. It's just like it's similar material. It's too close, and they have to differentiate themselves in more than just that it's a Marvel movie.
Yeah.
Sure.
I don't know about that.
I mean, I know that.
Listen, I beg to differ with that one.
Listen, I know that
Only-
I know that these movies are going to keep making money. I don't mean to only focus on the Marvel movies when I'm saying this. I'm saying that we are just seeing so many sequels and trilogies at this point that I'm just nervous.
And remakes.
And remakes, yeah. I just kind of I'm just nervous that that it's going to start feeling like I don't know, same old song and dance over and over and over again.
I think as long as they keep finding ways to differentiate the movies, like what they did with Guardians of the Galaxy, and even Ant-Man to a certain degree was a little bit of a departure, and Doctor Strange coming out, that'll be even more of a departure from the norm. So I think as long as they continue to evolve, we should be good.
We'll have to see how
However,
Suicide Squad does.
I'm
That
interested
too.
in
That's
that.
one. That one I'm curious because there's been so many people so excited, so much in advance that either they're going to be
Hype for this
their
thing
hype
is
is
crazy.
gonna. It's like you got to be careful. So many times people their expectation is here and then they see it and they're like,
Yeah.
well, I was.
I mean, I remember seeing this. I remember seeing the trailer for this movie and it being like, oh wait, it doesn't come out for like another year and a half. You know what I mean? Like that's
Yes.
crazy.
Yes.
Now, the one thing that'd be interesting about Marvel is seeing what happens after the Infinity War 1 or 2 come, and that seems to be like the big goal line for at least these first few phases for Marvel.
Yeah.
What happens when they kind of reach that end, and where do they go after that? I think that'll be
That's a good
that'll be
question.
interesting to see.
Yeah.
So now, as we're talking a little about Warcraft and its international numbers here, as we talk about the international box office, Pixar, though, Finding Dory, just was kicking butt all over the world. It cast the net in 29 material territories with an estimated $50 million launch to take the #1 spot at the international box office this weekend. And it was Finding Dory, who happens to be the biggest Pixar opening in China with $17.5 million.
Woo.
Wow.
Yeah, those animated films are very, can cross over internationally very well,
Yeah.
very easily.
And if as long as they have a story, like it's a story, finding your family, finding your community, it could relate. Or
Do
The
you
universal
guys-
message,
listen,
it really
so
is.
Speaking about that, do you guys think that this is going to go down as like the Little Mermaid or Aladdin? Is that going to be this type of movie that people are going to be talking about and remembering and reminiscing 50 years from now?
I mean,
that's so hard because
is
those
this-
are
you know
such
what I
big
mean?
ones.
Like,
I'm like, I don't know.
Is this going to be that classic,
For a certain age group, maybe.
Interesting.
Because if you told anybody who grew up on the other ones, they'd be like, which I'm like, I don't
Yeah,
know.
Yeah, but you know what,
I'm
like-
wondering.
I mean, I'm sure the second Little Mermaid movie did well, but we don't really talk
Womp
about it that
womp.
much. You know what I mean? Like,
I watched
Yeah.
it only because I like mermaids, but it was just okay.
Yeah, I know. I
but
didn't
they
think
made
it
a
was
lot
very
of
good
Disney
either.
sequels that just went to video, like
Yeah.
Lion King 2, and then they made
And Lion King 2 and a
half.
half, or
No,
something?
it's one. It's like Lion King half, so it's in between the two.
Okay, so there you go. So I'm saying
Yeah.
that even though it did really, really well, I don't think the sequels tend to stick with us in terms of.
Well, it's like
But again, like the first one came out so long ago that this is the first Finding Nemo movie for some kids. You know what I mean?
And they didn't call it Finding Nemo 2. They called it Finding Dory. So
Yes.
it's technically its own entity.
Yes, good point.
But if you look at, say, Toy Story 2, who could forget that song about the...
when we were the Jesse's song.
Yeah, Jesse's song about being abandoned. Like that, no matter what, that just...
oh my God, you just gave me goosebumps.
Yes. Or from Toy Story 3 when they're all heading towards the incinerator. Holding hands. Oh, come on. Those are moments like... whew.
Now that one, though, the story continues. So in a way, it's not really sequels. It's just more like more adventures.
Continuations.
So I'd say Toy Story is its own little bubble because it's, it's not like, well, here we're back. It's, we get more,
Yeah.
It's not like, we've made a sequel. It's not the same... kind of vibe.
I don't know. It's hard. I think it's just hard for us to say because we're just different. We're just different age group now. It'll be really interesting to see, like, how
we'll answer that question in 50 years.
we'll have to see how it does in syndication, and
Well, you see in 2066 here in Box Office Breakdown.
Yeah.
Can't wait. And nice, Warcraft grabbed another $41 million in the international market. Again, as we're talking about, it's just, while it's not doing so strong domestically, internationally, it is just gangbusters over there.
Got to see what the hype is about.
Yeah. All right, Richie. You keep saying every week you're going to see what the hype is about. When are you
I'm going to go
commit?
see it.
By next week. Okay.
I'm going to,
There you go.
I'm going to fit it into the schedule some kind of way.
some kind of way.
Some kind of way.
Okay. We'll see.
You go see it by yourself, like early morning.
That's what I'm going to have to do.
and just like, and then go on with the rest of your day.
Yeah.
Make my notes and then bring them back to you guys.
Ticket price.
Yeah, that
That's what I'm gonna
matinee.
do.
Yeah.
Get a little bit, like a little.
Certain places,
Cocoa
their
Puff.
first show is always cheaper too.
See?
What do you think the odds
first
are
showing
that,
is cheaper at
DJ
some
Richie Skye
theaters.
is going to check
Probably
it out?
not the Grove.
I am going to check it out.
Tweet us at your odds. What do you think? Yes or no that Richie Skye's going to make it to Warcraft?
Well, now you have to see it because now
Yes.
that the stakes are
He's
so
like,
high. I know.
I'm going on the no camp. That's I think Richie Skye's
I think
going to
he's
be.
going to see it.
I'm going to see it now.
He
I don't
lit
care
the
what I
fire
have
under
to
his
do.
ass, and
I'm
now
going
he
to go
has
see
to
this
see it.
movie.
Just to spite me.
Yep.
I get it.
I know. I finally made it to the theater this week, but I didn't see any of these.
Quinn, what are you doing?
What's going on?
I'm sorry, you guys. It was so good. I'm not even mad.
And rounding out our international market, we have Now You See Me 2, got another $60 million this weekend, overseas to a total of $50 million in the international market. Not bad.
Look at that.
Heist movies are always kind of fun though.
I do like a good heist movie.
And you throw magic into it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Come on.
like, oh, cool. Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yes.
Compelling enough that you see Now You See Me 3? Would you want to see a third one?
I think it's one of those some movies you need to quit while you're ahead.
I say go for it. Like,
Go for it.
just give me that last one.
I find
but that
myself
need to be the
like
last one.
always in the camp of stop making them. I think, like I just was talking about earlier, I think I'm just like so over the sequel, and now I'm like anti-sequel all of a sudden.
It depends. There's some movies that you're like, oh, you got happy. Okay, like animated. Speaking of animated, Rescuers Down Under, I would say is better than first Rescuers.
I would agree.
Animation is better, cooler story.
And Five Goes West.
Five Goes West
was
is better
better.
than American Tail.
Yeah.
But again, the art, it's a little bit later. The art, like the actual visual quality of it has improved. So those ones are kind of better. So certain sequels, maybe Now You See Me 3, it's like,
I know. I don't want to make a blanket statement.
I
There's
just
plenty of
feel
things
like-
I do
Stop when it's
like.
great.
I just
If
Don't
there's
keep going.
if there's another story to tell,
it's going to be straight to DVD. There you go.
Well, if you compare that, I think maybe a good one to compare to is the Ocean's films. So
That's,
Ocean's
see,
yeah, there
that's
you go.
what
They
I'm
did 3
thinking
and
about.
did well.
Yeah.
That's
I
what
know.
I'm thinking about. That's why I said just go
Yeah.
ahead and give me that third one. Finish it off.
Now, would you want the cast to be spiced up a little bit, or
I
keep
would.
the same people?
Just give me a little extra, like something.
Shuffle some people?
Mhm.
like maybe like Matt Damon and Brad Pitt and George Clooney and
crossover
That's
into
a
Now You See
very
Me
different
2.
vibe.
I
for
don't
that
know,
movie then.
maybe like people like that, like Julia Roberts. Why not throw her in there?
Oh man, look at that! We start our own franchise films that are with the heist movies. That's right.
Yeah.
I'm here for it.
Now, we've got a couple films coming out this week that we're going to talk to you about in a minute. One of those being a Matthew McConaughey film, The Free State of Jones. So as we're talking about Matthew McConaughey, our top 5 that we always like to do, kind of inspired by the week to come, we're going to be talking about top 5 Matthew McConaughey box office movies.
You know what, though? A couple of these, he's not necessarily the main character. He's part of an ensemble.
I forgot he was even in
Very
Tropic
true.
Thunder, to be honest with you.
No, and
I know. Tropic Thunder is like, wait, he's in that movie? And in Magic Mike, he's not one of the main guys. He's more on the edge of them.
Yes.
So, But I mean, he's still part of it, and he still is a draw because he's a big enough name that people could want to go just to see him.
But how do you like your McConaughey? Do you like him more as that kind of peripheral character that'll just come in for a few scenes and just
I'm the
nail
How
it
to
and
Lose
walk
a Guy
out?
in 10 days.
You want him
Yes.
as
You
the
want
lead.
the rom-com.
Yes,
I
or
was about to
Sahara.
say that,
Remember
too.
that one?
I was about to say, I mean, I think I prefer older Matthew, like
And
back
Made in
in the
Manhattan?
day,
Older Matthew. Your
you
voice
know,
just
those-
dropped like 3 decimals.
These movies, Failure to
Yes.
Launch, How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days.
Did you ever see the meme? It wasn't a meme. This was before memes. When it was like Matthew McConaughey can't stand up by himself because every single DVD cover was him leaning on like the female star, and they would be like back to back.
Good point.
Yeah, that was.
I
Failure
just
to-
feel like we don't see rom-coms like we used to.
No, not
We
the
don't see them at all.
same.
They're not the same anymore. I don't know what's going on these days.
Well, you know,
Ghost of
I actually
Girlfriend's
thought
Past?
that sleeping with other people was
That
all
was
right.
kind of cute though too.
There's been a couple out there that's just kind of like it's like I thought. Actually, I didn't like How to Be Single. Who am I
See,
kidding?
there you go.
No, I feel like Matthew McConaughey was probably our last guy that was doing the rom-com. And
Yeah.
that
I was
kind
gonna
of
say
moved
the
on since.
90s into early 2000s,
Yeah,
and
like
those
that
had those.
Yeah, now
And they
he's,
kind of.
you win an Oscar and that's it. I mean, that you can't go. You can't
Well, is he
go-
getting
think-
too old to
Oh,
be? I'm not
that's
saying
true.
he is, but when they're in rom-coms, there is kind of that certain age bracket. Like there's the
Yeah.
young lovers, and then there's kind of the mid,
And then
there's-
you're at Alec
then there's-
Baldwin and Meryl Streep.
Then there's
That's
a different
like all the
category.
way up, you
Which
know?
That's true.
those do pretty well though, because by then those
Yeah.
actors have great audience appeal as
Yeah.
well.
Oh, yeah.
but
Working
different
for Nancy
kind.
Meyer, you doing those kind of
Yeah.
films? Mm-hmm. Well,
I like Matthew McConaughey in like the Dodge Dart or whatever. All right. That's my favorite Matthew McConaughey.
So as we talk about the top 5 Matthew McConaughey films, coming in at number 1, we've got Interstellar, directed by Christopher Nolan. Fun movie, but it felt like a lot of coincidence.
Wasn't this one of someone's favorite movies here?
Not on, no. I don't
Oh,
listen.
someone told me the other day that was one of their favorite movies, and I was like,
Maybe somebody tweeted
Oh,
you.
and you-
suspect.
and Quinn never spoke to them again.
Yeah, I was like, blocked.
You're so judgy.
No, not judgy. I just thought it was an interesting choice. I'm sorry. I thought it was one of us. I'm sorry. It was somebody else who doesn't matter.
Coming in at number 2, we've got Magic Mike.
This is Magic Mike, not Magic Mike XXL.
No.
Okay.
It's the first one.
He wasn't in XXL, unfortunately.
Oh, that was
yeah.
sad.
Did not make the cut.
No, it did not. So yeah, Magic Mike though, over 113 million dollars. Did really well.
The first one was really good.
I liked them both.
Burn, Carrie, burn.
No, I'm not saying the second one was bad. I actually didn't see the second one, but
Oh
I
my
always
gosh,
wanted
it's
to. I
really
just never
fun.
got to it. But the first one was like, it's fun. I liked it. It's a
Better
fun
than
movie.
Interstellar. Like, that was really good.
Different kind of movie.
It was so different.
Very different kind of movie.
Apples and oranges.
Yeah, I know. No correlation whatsoever.
Coming in at number 3, we've got Tropic Thunder.
And yeah, I don't even remember him being in that movie.
The hair over
I'm like-
$110 million. It was supposed to be a role that Owen Wilson was going to do, but then Matthew McConaughey stepped in and took over.
Was that when Owen Wilson was like in a state?
He was in some bad time there
Yeah.
personally. So yeah, so Matthew McConaughey stepped in. I thought, very fun, very brief role in there.
Yeah.
And I felt like that was almost like his entryway into just coming in doing those small little character roles.
Blink and
just
you miss
nailing
it.
it. Yeah.
What was he?
He was Ben Stiller's agent.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I thought that was Tom Cruise.
No, well,
That's a different.
yeah. He was the
Yeah.
he was the studio executive
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Cool.
who did that great little dance number at the end
Yes.
of the movie. Yes. Coming in at number 7, we've got Failure to Launch, which surprised me that this is that high on the list.
Well, it's
$88
interesting.
million.
I mean, right?
Why is that surprising?
But why is that higher than How to Lose a Guy? Because How to Lose a Guy
It's
is
opening weekend we're looking at.
Oh, okay, opening weekend. Because How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days did more in the long run. A lot more.
Yeah, very
Which
true.
that one I liked much
I
better.
love
that
How to
one
Lose a
was
Guy
so
in 10
good.
days.
Failure to
Her
Launch is
pretty
cute,
yellow
but-
dress. Do you guys remember Kate's dress in that movie?
But Failure to Launch had Terry
Wasn't it-
Bradshaw.
I gotta think
Yeah,
about
I was about to say that. Like,
Well,
you
it's
can't-
a very different kind of movie. Kate Hudson versus Terry
Very,
Terry Bradshaw. That's
Yeah.
right.
Sarah Jessica
I'm like,
Parker.
And also, you know
Thank
what?
you.
Wasn't Sex and the City still on when Failure to Launch came out? Or I mean, at least it was pretty close to just being off the air. Like
2006.
I think she was still fresh. You know,
She was
still
still
fresh on everybody's mind.
Yeah, she was.
But
she
some
was.
would argue they'd go with Kate Hudson being like cuter.
Maybe.
She's
Sarah Jessica Parker.
It's a different. They're very different kind of.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Oh my God.
totally. So it's one of those like, which leading lady do you prefer? would be
Two
your
different
draw.
types of appeal.
Yes.
What are both of them doing right now?
Kate Hudson, isn't she singing now?
Oh, that's a good. No, she's
Sarah
not.
Jessica Parker.
She's got an HBO series that's coming out.
doing fashion stuff. Maybe?
Yeah.
Probably.
Okay.
New series
Yeah.
coming on HBO.
Yep.
I think it's called it might be called Divorce. Maybe I don't know.
No, I would like to see both of them back in theaters though.
All right.
Especially
with you
Kate.
seeing.
Oh, Kate's doing Fabletics.
Warcraft.
She's got her own
Yeah, she has the yoga
She's got
and
the yoga
athletic wear.
Yeah.
I'm here for people having their own business ventures.
DJ Richie Skye, please tweet at either Sarah Jessica Parker or Kate Hudson to see Warcraft with you.
Let us know how that goes.
Well, if anybody's free, I mean,
It's like when guys tweet at celebrities to go to prom with them, and then they go.
and see,
See, yeah,
You know what I mean?
Come
I'm
see
totally
Warcraft.
tweeting that.
Come with me to Warcraft, Kate Hudson.
That would be like a way less commitment too, because she's probably like just like in Beverly Hills, like hanging out.
She's like, sure,
we could
why
just
not?
be in the theater at the same
Let's
time.
beat the heat. Just go in this cold theater with me.
Exactly.
You know.
All right, and
One of
let's
us
talk
is gonna
about
do it.
coming in at number 5, How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days. Look at that. That was our top 5 Matthew McConaughey films. If you
Hey,
have
that
any-
was also 2003. Sorry to cut you off there.
No,
It's
no.
like that same year as Finding Nemo. So also 13 years ago.
Winky dink.
Look at that.
Wow, the longevity of Matthew McConaughey's career.
Yes. There you go.
Look at him now.
So, as we talked about there, a new Matthew McConaughey film in theaters, A Free State of Jones, but that is only one of 4 new films coming out in theaters this week.
Yeah, we have so much
This
coming
is
out.
there's a lot coming out this weekend. Like this past one, we only got 2. So we got the family movie or the action movie. And now this one we have a bit more variety.
Oh, yeah, we got a nice little historical action drama with The Free State of Jones. Mm-hmm.
I gotta tell you, it doesn't really feel like a summer movie to me.
No, it seems a little, it seems a little more, for me, this seems like the movie,
winter.
like comes in like early September to like
Yeah,
late September
right?
kind of action. Then, of course, I think like the biggest one this week is Independence Day Resurgence. Mm-hmm. Finally coming out from the 1996 film. Look at
I'm
that.
interested.
With Jeff Goldblum back in there.
Just so we know, opening in 1996, Independence Day did 50.2 million. So let's
it
keep
came
that
out
in mind.
on Independence Day.
Yeah.
But it came out
This one,
on
it's like,
Independence Day.
come on.
What was the logic, I wonder, with not having it released like a little bit closer?
It's like, oh, you're so
a
close.
hair closer.
Like
Was
even-
it that they wanted people to actually be familiar with it, word of mouth, and then go see it that day? I mean, what was
That's
the
a good question.
What was the logic? Does anybody know?
Like 4th of
Guesses?
July weekend. It's a 4-day weekend.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
what I
that's
was
true.
Like
thinking.
that's the better time to go to a movie.
Maybe something else is coming
We'll
out.
check for the following weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Then we've got The Neon Demon, a horror thriller
That
with
looks interesting.
With
Elle
Elle Fanning?
Yeah.
This is the one I
Keanu
want to
Reeves,
see
Jenna
of all
Malone.
of these. Really, I'm actually really excited for this one.
Really?
Looks kind of up my alley
Yeah, and that's competing against another horror film, The Shallow.
The Shallows.
with Blake Lively.
Yes.
Which looks like Jaws and
I'm totally here.
what's
For
But they've
the
been
other one?
promoting the bejesus out of that.
Yeah.
I'm totally here
Yes.
for a Blake Lively film.
Because I honestly haven't seen a lot about Free
Oh,
State of Jones on
that's what it is.
social media. Really,
Shallows is Jaws meets open water.
is that what it is?
Yes.
Essentially, but in shallower water.
Because I feel like
Because the Shallows, it's you've seen the trailer. It's like
course
yeah,
I've
she's-
seen the trailer.
Okay, yeah. But I'm like thinking about it, I'm like, that's open water and like Jaws pretty much together. Oh no,
Interesting.
we're stuck and I have to get somewhere and there's a shark.
I feel out of the
But it
4 of
still
these,
looks
though-
cool.
Yeah, the 4 of these I feel like Independence Day Resurgence and The Shallows I've seen a lot of advertising for.
Yeah.
Oh, Independence Day and Shallows. Oh
Yeah.
yes.
The
Neon
Neon
Demon, I've seen a lot for too.
On-
Way, for
I have
me,
not.
way more than Free State of Jones.
I have not seen a lot for the Neon Demon.
Neon Demon,
Crazy.
a lot
I feel
on
like
social
my,
media.
on my Instagram. You know how Instagram
Yes.
has
Yeah, I haven't-
has ads
Instagram
now?
a lot.
I don't know. Maybe it's like because I look at like makeup tutorials on Instagram. Maybe that's why. And it like knows. You know
I
how
was
they
gonna
know.
say ditto. I have a lot of makeup ones too, and I'm
Yeah.
like,
Sure, they have targeted you.
Dude,
Oh, yes.
do you guys ever see the videos where it's like people doing manicures?
No.
no.
Man, I can
Is that
watch
a
those
thing
for
now?
hours. It's just weirdly mesmerizing. I can't explain it.
So
Okay.
now, do you
The
feel
life
like
of Gwen. I
for
love
something
it.
like this, more effective advertising for doing a more targeted kind of hit, as opposed to just putting billboards up everywhere, doing bus stops, things like
Yes.
that? You're going to go right on social media, target specific people watching something specific.
Yeah, because you keep seeing it
It's
in your
easier.
Instagram feed, so you're familiar with the name. Maybe you finally go, okay, fine, I'll watch that trailer because you keep seeing it in your feed, and you click it and you go, okay, yeah, sure, that looks interesting. So yeah, that one definitely. They're
Yeah.
any girl or boy that's on Instagram doing makeup things that probably showed up in there as you're scrolling
Because
through.
it's about like a model. You know?
And what are the odds? You've seen that? You've seen the trailer. What are the
have.
odds that you would go see this soon?
I don't know if I'd necessarily go opening weekend, but I saw when I watched the trailer, I was like, okay, that actually looks kind of interesting. Yeah, I don't know.
No.
It might be one of those eventually.
That's how I feel about The Shallows. Like,
I'm
The
not-
Shallows all rent when it comes on to iTunes.
I I try not. I'm sometimes not really an opening weekend kind of person.
See?
I don't like because I don't want to go when it's super packed either. Though certain movies I do like it.
Sometimes if it's an
depends
event
on the
movie, I'll do it.
Like Zootopia, I did see with a big audience, and it was a lot of kids, which was okay.
You know what's the craziest thing about seeing a movie in LA is everyone claps at the end.
No.
Opening weekend, yes they do.
Oh, opening weekend.
You go opening weekend to a movie in LA, the entire theater stands up like they can't hear you.
But sidebar, I feel like
I've had
people
both.
don't really go to the like. Remember when Scream came out? Like I felt like the theaters were just packed that night. Like that whole weekend, everybody was going to see them.
Harry Potter movies.
Yeah, like I felt like those were like event movies.
What about you guys? Are you guys an opening weekend kind of person, or depends on the movie?
No, I guess if it's a movie I really want to see, I'll make time to go see it on the opening weekend. And then if it just life gets in the way, then I'll try to see it at least within like the week or two of it coming out.
Because from social media now, it's like everybody spoils it. Like Game of Thrones, my gosh, that one is nobody cares this season. They're just posting everything all over the internet. So certain movies now, it's like you almost have to go, it's otherwise it's gonna be spoiled. And you're like, great, thanks. Now I know everything.
Yeah, for me, like spoilers aren't so bad, but I also like to do read like the follow-ups and the thoughts about it. So it's nice for me to go read, like see like Captain America: Civil War. I want to see that opening weekend because I want to just read what everybody else is saying about it.
Yeah.
All right, let's do some predictions, folks. We talked about these 4 films coming out in theaters there. So as we're talking about a few notes, McConaughey's last premiere was Interstellar, as we talked about there for his top 5, back in 2014, which opened to $47 million. And as Quinn was talking about, Independence Day opened up in '96 to $50 million for its opening weekend, followed by $35 million and then $21 million in its next weekend. So given that, again, we've got Free State of Jones, Independence Day Resurgence, The Neon Demon, The Shallows, and then, of course, we've got everything from this week, Finding Dory, Central Intelligence, Conjuring 2, Now You See Me 2, and Warcraft.
All those movies we've been having
Richie
so
Skye's
much
favorite
fun
film.
talking about.
Wait, this is so difficult this week.
I'm struggling.
Well, I know I'm not struggling with my number one because
number one.
Obviously, we know what.
You guys all want to say it at the same time?
Finding Dory.
I like a few different tones of voice in there.
Finding Dory.
All right, so I feel like we can all go away. We can all just rule out Finding Dory as our number 1.
Okay.
Yes.
So now we just got 2 through 5.
It's still hard.
Number 2, I'm going to go with Independence Day.
I think a solid one. All right.
Number 3, Free State of Jones.
Really? Interesting.
We'll try.
Okay.
That one's one of those, like, I'm not really sure, but we'll put it out there. 4, the question is, are these new ones going to bump out
Central
other
Intelligence.
ones? Yeah.
Yeah, that's my...
Let's throw a curveball out there, too. We'll put Shallows, and then... Neon Demon's going to be interesting, because, I mean, she has name power and star power enough, but it is a...
And it has a wide
peculiar
release.
movie. All right, then let's Neon, sure.
Wow.
I'm-
All right. Interesting list, Kari.
Why
All
not?
right.
I like it to be keep it interesting. So yeah, I'll go number 1, Dory, 2, Independence Day, 3, Free State of Jones, Shallows, and then Neon Demon.
Now, if you look
Sure.
at Quinn's list, it is like the ramblings of a madwoman there. She is scratched and turned around and circled and recircled and scratched and drawn arrows all over this. What have you settled on?
Okay, I got number 1, Finding Dory. Duh.
Yes.
Number
Okay.
2, Independence Day.
Yep.
Number 3, I'm going to go Free State of Jones, just because it's like an interesting alternative for all the other movies that are out right now.
Yep.
Number 4, I have Central Intelligence. And number 5, The Shallows. I don't know, man.
Wow.
I don't
All right.
know.
I know, this one-
But also, the Neon Demon could knock Central Intelligence out, or The Shallows won't be in there at all. Oh, man.
DJ Richie Skye?
I'm gonna go with, of course, Finding Dory. Number 1. Number 2.
Oh, you're doing Finding Dory? You were just playing devil's advocate.
So number 1 will be Finding Dory. I'm gonna do number 2 as actually I'm gonna keep some of this list the same.
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna keep Central Intelligence,
Okay.
The Conjuring,
In these orders, yes. Okay.
and then oh my God, no.
Wait.
Okay, Finding
hold up.
Dory, and then Independence Day.
So
Okay.
we have Finding Dory and Independence Day
Yes.
as all as our first 2.
Central Intelligence, The Conjuring, and then I'm gonna go with The Neon Demon.
Even though The
Wow.
Conjuring only did 15 this weekend.
All right.
Listen, I think it's still gonna.
He's
hold
like,
fine.
I want to do curveballs too.
Okay.
All right,
Interesting.
and
All right.
Frank?
I'll go with, of course, Finding Dory, Independence Day. I think I'm going to go Central Intelligence.
Okay.
The Shallows, Conjuring 2.
All right.
See?
Free State of Jones, I feel is just like it's no.
Yeah.
It's not,
Yeah.
I think it's the wrong
I
time of
don't
year.
think
it's
he
not
has
time of
the
year,
same.
too.
I don't think he has the same box office draw that he used to.
Yeah, maybe.
And that's not
Free
me
State of
being
Jones.
negative. I just don't think he does.
Because it is the right time of year for The Shallows. Like, people
Yeah.
are going to want to go see that as
The
their
summer
kind of like
fun
drama
horror
kind of horror
movie.
movie. Yeah, so I think maybe that'll take number 3.
I'm curious for Free State of Jones because that one, their billboards, it's like, wait, where are they? What advertisements? So not a huge marketing.
I think it's too early
Plan
in the
there.
summer for this. If you wanted to do it, I mean, more in the fall or even just later in the summer.
Yeah.
I feel like
We'll
this
see.
too early in the summer. I think you want to see action and adventure.
Especially the same
Yeah.
weekend as Independence Day. Like, I feel like that's a lot of crossover audience, too. So.
Sure.
All right, everybody. Now we're going to do our special. We're going to do our Price is Right, where we predict one of these 5 how they're going to do next week. Now we all agree that Finding Dory is going to find its way on the list again. And now it did 136 million this week. Let's predict what it's going to do its second week. What kind of drop off we expect? We still think it's going to be number 1, but how well is it going to do? We've always this because I feel like we can go a high number. We've always been kind of playing it safe in the low 30s, things like that for these films. Now we get a chance to kind of shoot a little high in our box office predictions.
Because if you take 136 and a half, that's still pretty high.
Yes, but do you think it's gonna? You think it's gonna go half? Do you think it might only go like 40% perhaps drop off?
Maybe only 40% drop off.
So what do you think? Kari, you came out of the
Fine, 80.
80. All right.
Go with 80.
Okay.
77.
So 77. All right.
All right.
I was going to say 80, and then Kari said 80. So now I have to think of anything to say.
Well, 81 or 79.
I'm going to say 81.
81.
Ooh, I'd like to think that. Independence Day. I'm gonna go shoot high, and I'm gonna say 85.
All right.
Look at you.
Yeah, I'm gonna go high. But I'm gonna keep the hope
Big
alive.
I love how much of a risk taker you are.
I went 85, guys. I really went out on a limb. Now, folks,
Yeah.
as we've been talking about our box office predictions, but you're probably listening or watching saying, man, I got a better handle on the box office than these guys do. I can guess this number. So tweet us your predictions of what you think the box office title for the box office for Finding Dory will be next week. Whoever gets closest to that, we'll give you guys a shout out on the show. And maybe we'll have you guys call in, or you can brag about how smart you guys are over us.
Do YouTube comments count too?
Sure, okay, we'll do a YouTube comment as well.
Down below.
Comment right there on there. Yep. And then you can also see if you want to get together with Richie Skye and check out Warcraft too as well.
Come with me.
You're gonna
Maybe I'll go
be in an empty theater, my friend, no matter what.
Oh.
Burn.
It's because you have no friends, not because people don't like the movie.
As soon as I find Sarah Jessica Parker or Kate Hudson, we're going.
So, folks, next
Tell me
week
where they are. I miss them.
Next
Say
week we'll
hi.
find out who's been which fan is closest to the box office. Maybe beat us on this. We'll get some phone calls in. We'll get you a chance to brag about everything, about your smarts. So make sure we'll put the phone number on next week. Get ready to call in, folks. Share your thoughts about the show, about the box office, about DJ Richie Skye and his not seeing Warcraft. Talk about all that stuff with us next week.
Totally.
But in the
seeing it.
meantime, though, if you want to continue the conversation with us, even after the show's ended, you can like us on Facebook. You can give us those 5 stars on iTunes. You can subscribe to the YouTube channel. Hop in on the chat right there. Comment on the YouTube page as well. DJ Richie Skye, if they want to ask you to join them for Warcraft or just talk to you about movies, where can they find you?
You can find me seeing Warcraft. You can also follow me at DJ Richie Skye on Instagram and Twitter, and Richie Skye on Snapchat.
Yes, and you can find me on Instagram and Twitter at Kari D Lane, KariDlane.
You guys can find me on Twitter at Quinn Scillian. You can find me on Instagram at Quinstagram. And you can add me on Snapchat at Quapchat.
And you can follow
Sounds
me at...
slightly sexual, I know. I don't know.
There you go. Is that from that Tickle movie? No?
Yep, from the Tickle movie.
Got it. And you can follow me on Twitter at HappyGoJackie. Tweet us your box office predictions, folks. We want to see how smart you folks are. And we'll see you next week on Box Office Breakdown.
From producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire Popcorn Talk Network, we would like to thank you for tuning in. For questions or comments, be sure to visit popcorntalk.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of the Popcorn Talk Network.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of the Popcorn Talk Network or its owners or principals.